Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people, and Doug has now taken over the whole channel, and he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny from Relentless and Unstoppable, and today we have Bob Kselman with us. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So you're in New York at the moment, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Give our followers a bit of who you are and what you do.
I am retired from the FDNY. I got in 1981, went to the Bronx and got into Engine 42, which was a very busy house. My first night tour was, I think, 2 days before Christmas. We had 3 third alarms the first night, mostly vacant buildings, but fire top to bottom, front to rear. And I thought, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do to get here? But it was great because, you learned really quick. And it went on day after day like that. We were one of the busiest engine companies in the city, if not the busiest.
That's amazing. Is the fire department of New York consisting of several fire departments, or is it just one organization?
It's one large department.
That's
you
amazing.
Have battalions and divisions.
Got it. So there's just a lot of divisions around New York City since it's one of the big cities, right?
Right.
Got it. Where are you originally from?
From Long Island. Born and raised in the same town. My wife also just stayed local.
I see. What was your upbringing like before you became a firefighter?
My father was a carpenter. My mother was a stay-home mom. Had a great childhood. But every once in a while I'd see the fire trucks locally. Long Island is made up of volunteers. So once in a while I'd see them, and it sparked my interest. And if it was something really close by, I'd hop on my bike and take a look and see what was going on. And that kind of started me in the interest of the fire department. And then a friend of mine, and I joined the volunteer department, and a friend of mine from there said he was going to take the test for the city. And I looked and I said, what do I want to do that for? Why would I want to go into the city? I says, all right, I'll take it. And so we both went in, we took the written exam and both passed it. And nothing happens fast here. A couple of years later, they called for it's time for the physical, for the agility. And he didn't want to go. I waited and waited, and he never showed up. So I said, all right, I'm going in. So I went into Brooklyn and took the test, the physical and or agility, I should say, and which I might add was what they say was they called it the Iron Man test. Was one of the hardest, if not the hardest, that they've ever given. And now it's all watered down. You hardly have to do anything.
I see. What training do you have to go through, and what are the steps to becoming a firefighter?
That's basically all up to you. It's up to the individual. I didn't really do too much. I was 25 when I got on, and it just, I went out and I did some running because we had to run a mile in a certain amount of time for that test. So I made sure my running was good, but I was I was fit back then. So I didn't really have to do it. They did have training classes. Guys would, put a weighted vest on and run doing that. I really didn't do a whole lot to get on for that.
So you were more with the engine stuff and all that?
Well, I was with I started out in 42 engine. I did that for about 4 years, and then I transferred down the street, down the hill to 27 truck, which is a 100-foot aerial, and I finished my career down there.
I see. Where were you at when you learned about the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers, Pentagon, and in Pennsylvania?
I had basically just retired the year before, so I was home watching TV that morning, watching the news, and saw everything that went on. My wife was a school nurse at the time, locally, and when I heard the news, I kept calling her saying, have you seen? Do you know what's going on? I got to go in. I got to go in, and my son was in school at the time, so I couldn't go. I go get him at the end. But I kept, I just I wanted her to come home so I could go in, but that didn't happen. So I went later on, a few days later, I went and then continued to go every so often to help with the cleanup and the search.
Yeah, that was a scary moment for America. Were you speechless when you saw all that?
It was horrific. I lost a lot of friends. A lot of guys, some of the guys that I worked with in the past, as well as, up to date, right before I retired, or Battalion Chief Oriel Palmer, who they have a lot of audio tapes on him. He was a marathoner, so he made it all the way up to like the 73rd floor, or thought he could have it, and called for extra lines, and that was the last thing they heard of him when the collapse happened. But we lost a lot of good people. It wasn't for my family, and also my fire department family, but mainly my wife and my son got me through it. I mean, I cried for months, just for no reason.
I can't blame you.
We sat here one day, and I'm in my backyard, and I hear a couple of jets fly over, and there's 2 F-16s flying over, and they were so low you could see the pilot's face. That was on 9/11, but that continued for a couple of days later, where they would do flyovers because everything else was shut down. So,
yeah. What did Ground Zero look like? Was it like rubble and just everything from the building?
If you can imagine 2 110-story buildings where all the office furniture, tables, chairs, desks, file cabinets, they were pulverized. absolutely pulverized. You couldn't make out it. There was no particular part that you could say, well, this is from a file cabinet. This is a part of a file cabinet. It was dust. Dust.
Oh my gosh. How long did it take to clean all that up?
Months. Somewhere, I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, it's a long time now. I'm going to say somewhere around 7 or 8 months totally. And it might have even taken a little longer.
That's really tragic. It was unquestionably a Pearl Harbor-like attack. I'm definitely.
That was many people say that was our Pearl Harbor. Yeah. And I actually did find somebody that I knew buried in the rubble just by chance. So we pulled him out, fireman, and carried him down to the makeshift morgue and gave everyone, they all got the respect that you would want, no matter who it was, whether it was a member of the fire department, police department, civilian, everybody, everything stopped. The entire site stopped and you carried them down. And flag draped over the body.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.